Like, is Chad Mottola supposed to fix Jose Siri, Alex Jackson, and Taylor Walls, who we know historically have hit south of the Mendoza line and will continue to do so as long as they're in the major leagues? Then I don't know if that's really on him, right? They're there for defense. They're not there for offense.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
It's your boy, Evan Closky.
Back again, and we appreciate it, bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard fan who vividly remembers Longo's game 162 just like us,
or you remember the early Devil Ray days of Wade Boggs or Carl Crawford,
we are here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 6th season covering the Rays daily.
And every season they've gone to the playoffs, but highly likely not in 2024. However, in the meantime, grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on the X machine and Instagram machine at Locked On Rays.
This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/lockedonmlb and use code, all lowercase, lockedonmlb for a first deposit match up to Benjamin, $100.
We've got the greatest sportscaster in Tampa Bay history, basically the Evan Longoria of sportscasting in the market, Evan Closky. Busy man right now. There's news afoot with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Tampa Bay Bucks, preseason, getting on to the regular season, college football, and of course, a Rays team that is going nowhere in 2024.
Yep, that's pretty much it as we shift our focus to the old Buccaneers. But yeah, this is a pretty brutal stretch to watch the Rays. So if you're listening to this, I applaud you, because that means you're a diehard fan who probably watches the games, and I feel for you because I watch all the games too. It's tough.
Yeah, the Astros series was certainly tough. Straight L's across the board for the old sweeperoo, and not much, if any, offense to speak of, which is pretty much the ethos of this Rays team.
Yeah, from start to finish, the one constant has been the lineup hasn't been good enough. And people can complain about trading Randy and Isak, Ahmed Rosario, whatever. The lineup stunk with those guys. I would say in the grand scheme of things, they do probably miss Randy the most, considering that he's found his groove ever since being the worst hitter in baseball in April and May. So congrats to the Rays for enjoying that stretch. But it's just a whole big mess. And when they were playing really well, the biggest problem was they were actually hitting again. Not like crazy, not like anything to brag about, but they were doing well with the bats, well enough, and they just couldn't get hits with runners in scoring position. Now, the offense is slumping, pretty much what we saw April, May, that awful stretch. We're seeing that stretch again with the runners in scoring position. So, when we leave this season, there are going to be 3 things on my mind. Mm-hmm. The amount of home runs they gave up, the amount of homers they didn't hit, and the inability to bring in runners in scoring position. Those 3, when you look at those 3 things, I believe one is truly controllable, and that's bringing in more slugging. So I think they missed the mark there. The runners in scoring position, I think, is a random variable, which probably year in and year out changes. I don't know how you fix that, right? Hey, guys, hit in the clutch. Go do it. And giving up as many homers as they've done. Maybe there's something to look at with pitch mix, but ultimately it's just them kind of getting It's bad execution and getting burned probably more often than they're used to getting burned. But I'm sure they'll do a deep dive into why those numbers have exploded more than usual. And maybe it has to do with the fact that the clientele wasn't as good at the start of the season. We've seen it be better now that they've kind of hit their stride midway through the season, certainly the bullpen. But just kind of the Astros series kind of brings
That's
up
the nail in the coffin, basically. And then you have Diamondbacks who are certainly left.
Yeah, I mean, it brings up but the Astros series, it brings up every wart about this season. Really, is just the anemic hitting, not coming in the clutch, home runs killing you. It's just like everything we've seen from start to finish is really what would have burned these guys. And as you know, I said, right, it's not that the team wasn't capable of going on a huge run to make the playoffs, but when people complained about the Rays selling, this is why they are selling. It's because the schedule is brutal in the back end of the year. And when you're playing the Astros, who for now the good portion of the second half have been one of the best teams in Major League Baseball, when you're playing the Diamondbacks, a playoff team, you're going to have the Padres coming down the chute, the Mariners, where that pitching staff might throw 3 straight shutouts. You just don't like it. It is what it is. So we'll have a lot to talk about in the off season.
Oh yeah.
And and the Morel thing. If I get another question about Christopher Morel, I am going to lose my Skittles.
I've seen
what kind of questions are you getting? Just that he's struggling?
It's just every like day that he doesn't do well at the plate is the Rays have lost that trade. He sucks. I don't get why they did the deal. It literally has been 2.5 weeks.
Right? Yeah, you got to give a guy a lot more time than that. Although I will say this, that lineup, and I don't look at every single lineup every single day, but just hearkening back to Wednesday, dreadful lineup. You have half of the guys are batting under the Mendoza line, well under the Mendoza line.
It's not even dreadful. It's like, are we really doing this? Like, this is what we have. You know, last week, Evan, I think we had you on Peek Behind the Curtain Tuesday or a Wednesday. And we said, there are chances to go to the playoffs is like 3rd and 17. And we had a little laugh. On Monday, Kevin and I were like, yeah, we're out. They're
4th and 30 right now.
They are not a playoff team whatsoever. We're getting off on Monday morning. Goodbye.
Yeah.
What are you saying to people right now that are Rays fans that still have hold on to hope? Are they now kind of the people that you don't want to be in a burning building with them because they think that the heat is nice?
No, first off, I appreciate those people. It just there's a big picture and a small picture, right? Christopher Morel in a small picture has sucked. Let's be like 100% honest. This month, August, has been so far, these 14 days or whatever the 2-week stretch that he's had, the worst in his Major League Baseball career. Now, are they trying to do something with him? Are they trying to tinker something out? I don't know. But if they're trying to do that, I would say give him 4 or 5 days off, work with him, then throw him in the lineup instead of him trying to figure it out as he goes. Like, you're not playing for anything, so just give him time off, work with him. Because right now, I also get a lot of questions about Chad Mottola. We addressed it in the last episode as well. I'm very conflicted on where is it Chad Mottola's issue or is it really a personnel issue, right? Like, is Chad Mottola supposed to fix Jose Siri, Alex Jackson, and Taylor Walls, who we know historically have hit south of the Mendoza line and will continue to do so as long as they're in the major leagues? Then I don't know if that's really on him, right? They're there for defense. They're not there for offense. You can do your best, but guys like Christopher Morel, though, if you can't fix him, because the Rays took a huge risk in trading Isaac Paredes for Morel. It obviously unblocks Junior Caminero. Now he's with the team earlier than I think we all thought. We thought it would be the rookie stuff, and I don't know if they're punting that or they might send him down later for maybe during playoffs. I don't know if they make it, but
I know it might be contradictory because me and Kevin are both wearing hoodies, but it's getting hot out there, folks. It's hot, and you have to get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. Quick trivia, Kevin. What am I talking about?
That would be one and only thing, and that would be Liquid IV.
That's correct. Tear, pour, live more. Okay. One stick, 16 ounces of water hydrates you better than water alone. That means that you don't have to have more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. In fact, get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. Wait, what was that code? It's super long. No, it's not. It's MLB. And that'll be 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com.
You do that, and then you trade for Morel, which keeps your slugging, right? We bring in we traded a masher. We bring in a new masher, somebody that works well in Tropicana Field, who has a great eye, whose under the hood metrics are much better than what we're seeing on the field. If you can't like fix him, or you can't like make sure that Josh Lowe is flourishing, when you bring up Carson Williams and Xavier Isaac and Chandler Simpson and all these guys, do you want Chad Mottola being the one that leads that group? Or do you want a new face and voice to be the new era of Rays baseball? Because that's where we're heading. It's going to be a new era. I think maybe not next year, but so that's my debate. They have to decide, and they might have, and that's why I kind of say, like, I would be okay, 100% okay bringing back Chad Mottola next year, but the seat is hot if they do it. Like, if things don't turn around next year, you gotta go. Like, but considering what he's done historically, and considering what we just saw last year, it's like I'm torn because
I know
they've been fairly consistent before these 3 years where it's been horrendous, unbelievable, horrendous, right?
It would be one thing if like Yandy Diaz was hitting 220 and had a 650 OPS, if Brandon Lau was hitting 220 and had a 700 OPS, but those guys are producing. But I think the other guys are what they are. Like, you can only get so much out of a Taylor Walls, a Jose Siri, so on and so forth. And Josh Lowe, I mean, he's been battling injury and trying to get back from that all year. I think he's going to be his normal self in 2025.
But to that point, though, Yandy was hitting 210 and him with a 500 OPS. And again, I am not the person that goes fire the hitting coach, because I think
those also guys, the MVP or MVP vote getter.
Yes, but I'm saying like this season, and I'm not a fire hitting coach guy, because I feel like they have very little to do with what happens on the field. But if we want to just be devil's advocate here, Randy did struggle. Yandy did struggle. Josh Lowe with injuries, he's struggling, and everybody else is hitting career lows. Taylor Walls has been really bad, not this bad. Alex Jackson has been a quad A player, but this year, my goodness, like it's very telling that all of these guys are just nosediving.
Yeah,
maybe some of it too is you just need a new voice in the room, so to speak.
Well, it could be that. It could be that. I do want to bring up the positives, right? Ben Wordvet, Richie Palacios. I think Jose Caballero probably is doing what you would have expected him to do. Brandon Lau is having, I don't want to say an amazing. He's certainly not doing poorly or below. Like, he's definitely above what you expected, considering the injury stuff that he's also had, right? Like, I mean,
he's doing well right now to keep the haters silent. That's how.
I mean, and he's still, and right now he's in some bad BABIP luck. Like, he's smoking the ball and just hitting it right at people. So, like, Brandon Lau's been great. Whatever happened, I don't know if they entered the season trying to do something in the first month or two, but we'll never know. But if that was a game plan, I don't know if they try. Look, they entered last year in the first 2 months and just smashed the cover off the ball. And then I don't know if they got cute and tried to do something again. I think that Randy was probably the biggest culprit of them maybe trying to, I think Randy was trying to go to all fields. I don't know. There was something with Randy that he really got off kilter. whatever. I don't know.
Because
The
Yandy
whole-
and Randy
the-
didn't get along. Maybe
the whole point of this is that like there are still good pieces who like came in and like did well. But yeah, I mean Johnny DeLuca, to me, I think the biggest issue is a little bit of stubbornness. I think that they've dug their heels in to the mistakes they've made in the past. We've mentioned it before, Cronenworth, Nathaniel Lowe, like those guys, and they're like, we're not going to allow that to happen again. And now we've seen Johnny DeLuca way too long. DeLuca should have been sent down in June. He should have sent down, but they were so stubborn on the defense that they kept him because he's an elite defender. I give him that. But you can't have DeLuca, Walls, Jackson, Siri, all in a lineup. It's too much. And now to me, you've wasted DeLuca. You like even Jackson Holiday had to go down to AAA again to get right. And that's the tippy top of prospects. So I am just a little bit confused as to why they decided, hey, let's completely run Johnny DeLuca into the ground. To me, go at this point, go find out about your future. Like, go play Meisner at this point. You know, go bring up Basabe and see what he can do and just give him a month. Like
Mead was there.
Mead is another guy. Give him a full month of playing time. You know, I don't know if we're going to start seeing some IL stints or maybe some benchings. I don't know. But to me, you have to be a fact finder. I know what Johnny DeLuca is right now. I know what Taylor Walls is. I know what Alex Jackson is. I know what Jose Siri is. Give me some other people. And the problem is, I'm sure that if we look at them, we're only getting a month. We're only getting 6 weeks of a sample size too. So to a greater extent, everything I'm saying is also maybe a little bit foolish because we don't know if it's a true analysis of what we're going to get in the future or if it's a hot streak. So they're in a really difficult spot. Long tangent. I apologize, but
No.
it's a very complicated discussion. So that's when you say blame Matola, not you, but when people go out there and say blame Matola or like Morel sucks, it's like it's such a
it's more complex than that. It's an onion.
Yes, it's like, and again,
yeah, but when you have a free X machine and you can throw out that hot take,
but it's just like you're judging someone.
That's what you get.
You're judging someone on 2.5 weeks of baseball, and I know it's painful to watch because this team, offensively speaking, has been painful to watch. But like to act like Christopher Morel is a 0.70 hitter or whatever he's been in August is just ridiculous. It's a really, really bad stretch. And again, I think that the Rays need to give him a couple of days. I don't understand what they just run people into the ground this year. They're so patient. They're so patient at the minor league level. They are so patient. And then at the major league level, they've gone the other which way, which is being so stubborn to give people opportunity and chance, and then other people no opportunity and chance. And I don't know which way they're moving. Like it sometimes it feels like they're guessing and praying.
It does kind of feel like that. In that whole like digging their heels, you're right. That started this year. Like they've never been that way. We want to hit on so many more things. Kevin, can we do Closky on the clock, please?
You said it. Let's hit the sounder.
Closky on the clock.
Closky on the clock.
Closky on the clock.
Closky on the clock here. Closky on the clock.
Closky.
All right, enough of that.
There we go.
Too much.
All right, what's your question for the Closky Meister?
Taking two words that are not Junior Caminero, what are some reasons that Rays fans should still keep watching Rays baseball?
Yeah, I think that the pitching staff is phenomenal. I mean, especially the bullpen. Really, what we thought the bullpen was going to be entering this season is what we're seeing right now. They have the best ERA in baseball, I believe, after the All-Star break. They have about a sub-1 ERA. You're really starting to see guys like Sita and Emrod, Pete Fairbanks. Eventually, Biggie will be a part of this group. You're seeing a bunch of guys develop into what the future of this bullpen is going to be. So that's great. watching Taj Bradley continue to develop even through his rough patches right now. You're going to see Ryan Pepio some more. We're still watching Jeffrey Springs as he kind of gets better and better. Shane Baz as he gets better and better. So you're watching a lot of what 2025 is going to provide, and the way that this team pitches is still very enjoyable. And for the most part, how they field as well is very enjoyable. Just they're not going to hit. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, my question. I'll take a junior question.
By the way,
years
that
from
door
now-
hingey thing behind you was creepy. Very
What's that?
creepy. That door hingey thing. Did you guys
Oh.
hear that? Very creepy. All right.
No one
that
knew
was-
that. I don't know what you're talking about.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That must be the haunted Channel 10 headquarters
Yeah.
near St. Petersburg. Junior Caminero, 15 years from now, we look back and he had X career. What will be his career WAR? How many All-Star appearances? How many home runs? What do you see Junior Caminero when we look back in, I don't know, 2040?
You always give me these like future, who knows? All I can say is that I think you're going to have a guy who's going to smash the baseball. I mean, we're talking 30 plus homer type of potential. If he can really generate more contact in the zone, I would even say it's like 40 plus homer potential. I don't really know what WAR is he's going to have. He might grow out of a position. Looks like Brooks Robinson right now, but I don't know if his body's going to develop into like a Vladdy Jr. where he goes from third to first to maybe, eventually DH. But I think that over time, you're looking at a dude who's going to maybe push for the most homers in franchise history, depending on how long he's in town. But it's going to be a tough ask at this point. The thing is with Junior, at least for the now, is that I would imagine he's going to be a very low average player who, when he does make contact, it's fierce, which is what we're kind of seeing. So people need to be patient with Junior as well, because he's not the savior. He's not a finished product at all. He was not hitting like 300 at AAA. So he's just a guy who, when he hits the ball, you're looking at doubles and homers.
By the end of his career, how many All-Star appearances? 4, 5, 6, 8.
I'll go 4 or 5.
My goodness. Hopefully all with the Rays.
Because baseball season is moving right along, and here's the time to make some cash on Junior Caminero, maybe some other guys, Rays performances over on that very application, PrizePicks. Whether it's stolen bases, home runs, or hits, take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks entry today. With how well, hopefully, some of the Rays are playing baseball, you can turn $10 into $100 with just a few taps. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Look, PrizePicks is really simple to play. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make PrizePicks the #1 fantasy sports app, which people definitely will want to go to with football season on the 4. So get in on the action with PrizePicks. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. So good, I'll repeat it again for y'all out there. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for an up to $100 match on your first deposit. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy.
When Jonathan Aranda was healthy, which was not basically this year, and he was available to be brought up, it really didn't seem like the Rays gave him a shot. When Curtis Mead to provide something for the major league club, it didn't really seem like they gave him a shot. Is Curtis Mead and Jonathan Aranda in the plans for the Rays for 2025 or not?
I disagree a little bit on the Mead opportunity. I think he had 100 plus at bats during the injuries. He didn't take advantage of them. I don't know what Aranda is going to be if he can't play the outfield, considering let's say they move on from Yandy Diaz at first base. It looks like Brandon Lau would be the replacement there. That's a lefty. That doesn't really help their situation. I don't think they want to get into another Harold Ramirez situation. So I'm going to say that Aranda unfairly probably isn't a part of their future plans. And Meade, to me, at worst, I think he's the backup second baseman, backup third baseman next year. Probably plays against lefties, and really is just sort of in a utility role. So I think that Meade is in the long-term plans for now, unless you can spin him into something else. But even if he's in just like a lefty specialist role, who kind of also serves as like the top backup for Junior and to Morel in case of injury, I think that has value, even if he's not like this all-world, play-every-day type of guy.
Final Closky on the clock question for me. Ulises, if you have another one, you're more than welcome to proceed before we get to baseball trivia. Name that war. Elias Diaz was placed on outright waivers by the Rockies. The 33-year-old will be an unrestricted free agent next season. Let's remember this guy was the MVP of the All-Star game last year. Catcher, by the way. He's got in 2024 a 1.1 WAR, 270 batting average in 304 at bats. Of course, his on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, and OPS plus isn't that great. But hey, he's better than Alex Jackson. Should the Rays make a play for him now, or perhaps in the offseason to boost their catching depth and profile in 2025?
Now makes zero sense. I mean, you're not playing for anything, and you're not going to spend. If you pull him off there, you're going to have to pay the rest of his contract. It's not something that the Rays aren't going to take on money with this type of team. So going to the offseason, I think that he would be definitely an option to look at. Not that he's knocking the cover off the ball. I do want to tell people that his like expected batting average is, I think, a 236. Yep, a 236. Expected slugging is a 330. So I don't want people to think that this guy is a game changer, but he is an excellent defensive catcher. I think that he provides a little bit of more proven experience with the bat. Certainly his average, his BABIP might be a little bit higher than what it should be, but I think he's an option, a nice, cheap option to bring in for a year and kind of part ways with Alex Jackson.
Devil's advocate, maybe you try to bring him in this year to get him comfortable and on board with the Rays' way of doing things. And then,
you know how long spring training is? You know how long spring training is? And the pitchers and catchers come early. For a veteran like that guy, 2 months will be just fine.
Why I'm saying that he gets comfortable and maybe he says no to some of the other bidders, however many other teams are out there.
And hey, you know what?
Good graces of him and the Rays' way of doing things and the clubhouse culture and so forth. Just throwing it out there.
Can I just be cheeky, more cheeky than Kevin here? And also, you know, he needs time to figure out Tash Bradley, because no catcher in the world can figure out Tash Bradley like Alex Jackson can, even though the last 3 outings, boy, this has been rough. Maybe give him some time with Tosh, you know, Elias Diaz.
As I said, he'll have plenty of time in the long spring training, pitchers and catchers, all that stuff. It just doesn't make much sense. You're not getting much added value bringing him in for and not to mention, I don't want him any part of this situation. This is down in the dumps. We ain't playing for crud, and we can't hit. You want to bring him into this kind of stank? I'd rather bring him into new energy, new season, pitching staff, bullpen, defense. We're gonna be better. We did the I'd rather him be part of that movement than get a whiff of this.
That's fair. All right,
it's stanky.
Yeah, it is stanky, this Rays team. And what's crazy is we are being very critical. This team is still 2 games under 500, so
it's because they
so
pitch
used to very good Rays team.
And their expected win-loss record is 10 under.
Yeah, they're not as bad as what they're showing. When you look at best case and worst case scenarios, they've now for 3 straight years gone from like worst case hitting scenario, best case hitting scenario, worst case hitting scenario. Bullpen blew up in the beginning of the season, which I think took them steps back, and there are just a lot of like little small things that just didn't go their way. Just a lot of things in the past did go their way. This year it didn't, and they're not that bad of a team, even though it looks like it. Their pitching and their fielding will always keep them competitive. They will. I mean, they should have beat the Astros in that final game. It's just they couldn't hit worth a lick.
Baseball trivia, name that war. My trivia question pertains to the Rays' upcoming opponent. Very good opponent, I may add, the Arizona Diamondbacks presently. I have the Diamondbacks, let's remember, young franchise, like the Rays, their career home run leaders, top 10 home run leaders in a D-backs uniform. I need 6 of these 10 names.
Well, Luis Gonzalez.
He is number 1 on the list, clubhouse leader with 224.
How do you like David Peralta?
Oh, wow. He was around for a while. I can go that way.
All right, Venezuelan bump. Peralta.
That's your guess. Venezuelan bump also to Elias Diaz from Maracaibo. Do I have that correct?
Very good.
David Peralta is number 8 on this list with 110. Rays legend, I may add.
Rays legend, baby.
Was Matt Williams around long enough?
I like it, though. I like it. I don't know. 110, though, was number 8. So does Matty Williams have 10 seasons of 10 home runs or something like that? 20 of 5?
I just don't know how long he was on the team for.
I think like 3 or 4, right? Maybe more. Who else? Oh, Goldschmidt, right?
Yes.
Paul
Paul,
Goldschmidt.
is that a guess?
No,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Goldschmidt is number 2 on this list with 209.
Okay.
Trying to think of like who was big on that World Series team. I'm like missing like a whole era.
It was like the pitching staff, bro.
And that's all. I
Randy Johnson wasn't hitting dingers, nor was Kurt Schilling.
No. Damn.
Like was Eric Chavez on those teams? I remember JD Martinez having like the world's like greatest half season with them, but I don't remember if he stuck around after that.
No, he didn't. But that was a really great half season, though. Man.
Like does Sean Green play enough with them?
I like it. Did
Matt
Brady
Williams-
Anderson play with the Diamondbacks?
Let me go Matt Williams.
Matt Williams. He had a lot of home runs in his career, 378 to be exact, mostly with the San Francisco Giants, but he had just enough with the Diamondbacks. Number 10 on this list with 99.
Let's go.
He played like 6 years in a D-backs uniform.
Okay, cool. So we got 3, right? And
You have
we need
4.
3 more?
You have 4,
2
you
more.
need 2 more.
Yeah, we need 2 more.
We got 4, we need 2 more.
I would say, just to help you all out here,
please.
a lot of these guys, they're familiar names from the past decade, 10, 15 years, I would say.
Ooh, what about Marte? Has he been there long enough?
Oh man, I don't know.
I'll leave it to you. I think
The problem is we have 10 already. Like we got number 10, and
we got number 8 and 10.
It
could be 9.
All right, go with him. Yeah.
Okay.
Marte, first name?
What do you mean?
Patel.
Ketel Marte. I didn't know if you were going to say Starling Marte or what, or another
This
Marte
guy.
out there.
This guy.
Ketel Marte is number 5 on this list with 134.
Let's
Good
go,
call.
baby. That's how we play this game. Let's go.
I keep going back to like Eric Chavez. I'm missing like a.
I don't think you all have a strike yet, do you?
No, we don't.
We don't, and we've doubted every
You
single
can be
one.
aggressive here.
Okay, come on. From the last like 10 years, who do you think of when you think Diamondbacks? Peralta was one for them for sure. Goldschmidt was one of them.
There's a first baseman I'm missing.
That's not Goldschmidt.
No, yeah, that's not.
Christian Walker.
We can go Christian Walker.
Christian Walker, that is your guess. He is, believe it or not, number 4 on this list with 143.
Let's bleeping go.
Very good job.
Nice
I was
job.
expecting a couple strikes there before you got it all. Here is the list. Luis Gonzalez 1, Goldschmidt 2, Steve Finley 3, Walker 4, Marte 5. This is where I thought you would have guessed maybe one of these names. Chris Young 6, Mark Reynolds, the strikeout king.
He wasn't a first baseman, but that was the guy I was thinking of. Damn it.
Yeah. 121 home runs, but more strikeouts than Jose Siri, Mike Zunino, and many others combined. He's number 7. David Peralta, number 8. The brother of BJ Upton, Justin Upton, is number 9. And then Matt Williams, number 10.
Awesome.
Justin
That's a
Upton,
really
I
good
should
list.
have gotten. But that's impressive. We didn't get a strike there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
I'm very happy about that. And you know what? I'm going to give you guys a fastball down the middle. Maybe not as fast as this guy used to throw it for the Diamondbacks, but I want a quick answer because it's down the middle.
Yeah.
Mr. Randy, not a Rosarena, Johnson. What is Mr. Randy Johnson's career WAR
Holy
according
smoky
to
Josephs.
Baseball Reference?
I'll go right down the middle, 74.3.
Off the dome, 81.5.
Mr. Randy Johnson, do not look it up. He's a 5-time Cy Young winner. He's, of course, a Hall of Famer, Triple Crown, 10-time All-Star, World Series MVP, 4 times ERA title champ, 2001 World Series champ. He had a 3.29 ERA, 303 wins, a 1.17 whip, 4,135 and a third innings pitched. Just an amazing, amazing career. And he had 2 saves to go along with that. And his career WAR is not 76, not 80 something, 101.1.
Yeah, we definitely lowballed that one.
He's so crazy.
That's an absurd number. That's an absurd number. I like
believe
in
it.
my head, I'm like, this guy like also pitched for like what 20 some odd years.
I mean,
I was like-
something crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
23,
and I was
22 years.
yeah. So I was just thinking in my head like,
He almost pitched through 4 decades, from 1988 to 2009.
The
Pretty
crazy part is if you average it, like if you think about it, like if I would have done like 20 years, 5 WAR, I would have been scared to go like 100.
Yeah. No, he's insane. He was insane. And like, if you look at his baseball reference page, it's a lot of bold, it's a lot of italics, it's a lot of Cy Youngs.
Well, I'm sure he had like what was the biggest season he had? Like a 12 something.
Okay, WAR. Let's see. He had a 10.7 in 2002.
Okay, that's not bad. That's filthy. Call
And he,
him Pigpen. It's filth.
That little run he had of 4 years where he was a Cy Young, 9.1 WAR, 8.1, 10.1, 10.7. The nastiest of nastiest. But you know what's not nasty? Evan Closky. Thank you for joining us. Where can people find your work?
You can find me at eClosky WTSP on the X. I will respond to 99% of you. 50% of you might get some snark, according to 100% of you. So, but seriously, as long as you're not a jerk, engage in the conversation. Don't take it so seriously. It's sports. And then also we have the Blitz, our Buccaneers preview show that will be airing on 1010 Bay, 1010bay.com, and 1010 Bay Plus, starting September 1 as we get our preseason primer in. So we'll be working on that.
Very good. We have to wrap things up because Ulises has a very important dinner with Stu Sternberg, Matt Silverman, and Eric Leander. Not sure what it's about, but it's a very important occasion. So talk to you next week.